Hopefully this is a quick tour of the PowerPoint. You can alter it as you want. So it's about fashion and the environment for the students. And we acknowledge that clothing and fashion is really an important part of who we are. But it is becoming increasingly important to know more about your clothes because it enables you to make informed choices when you're buying them. And encouraging people to look at their labels is a very good way of doing that. So a great place to start. Fashion is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions, and worse than that is that it's set to increase by another 50% when we're supposed to be halving our global carbon emissions by 2030. So we'll do something about it. And it pollutes water, and that's also a known fact. Cotton is very hungry in its use of pesticides and insecticides, and doesn't matter whether it's small or large. So looking at organic is very important. And 73% of the land on which it's grown is irrigated, and look at that mud. That's a picture to show how the land it's grown on is often where water is scarce. And this is a sad fact that we're now chopping down even more trees every year, some from indigenous and protected forests, so that we can develop our cellulosic fibres. That's not really in this project, but it's a good extension, and it is a fact. Polyester is plastic. You can make bottles into clothing, but then you can't make the clothing into anything else at the moment. So it's the last thing you do, and then polyester clothing goes into landfill. Often people say, well, people don't earn much when they're making clothes because it's cheaper in that country, but this statistic shows it's not, and EcoAge have some great articles on it. They get paid very little. Garment workers get paid very little and often work in terrible conditions. Internet. Now we're all buying more on the internet, and sometimes it's frustrating. The product doesn't fit. In clothing, it's really important because when it's very cheap, it's too cheap when it's returned for the factory to put it, the retailer to put it back into stock. So it goes into landfill or it's burned. And we've heard more and more about microfibers. So polyesters, cloths and synthetic fibers leach out into our washing machine and get into the ocean. They're absolutely everywhere. We can only put extensions to collect them on our washing machines or put the stuff in bags. But students need to be aware of this so they can make decisions. Sad recycling. You put clothes in the bank, but 80% estimated worldwide end up in landfill. Because at the moment, I think about 9%, I've spoken to people about this, but about 9% is recycled into other materials, and it's always downcycled. It's not into clothing, very rarely into clothing. And just to sum it up then, 70%, the majority of our carbon emissions of the apparel industry is in the production. So the more you buy, the bigger the carbon impact. The less you buy, the longer you wear it, the less. So that's why this project engages students in exploring fibres, the key fibres, cotton and polyester. If you have time, take them through cellulosic cloth as well. Hand skills, repurposing an existing garment, and informs them in an engaging and imaginative way about how they can make a difference. That's it. Hope you enjoy this project.